What's up, everybody? This is Gray here, and welcome to the Sunday Shift Report. The crap has hit the fan. Well, it truly has been quite the interesting week, especially the last few days, which I'm sure most of you folks are aware of. If you haven't noticed the news inundation of what's been transpiring and ironically enough, pay attention to some of this. Chicago, L.A., where was the other one? We had the situation in Milwaukee. Where else? There was another one. Where was it? Yeah, I know we got L.A., Chicago, Milwaukee, and New York. Yeah, how could I forget New York? Buffalo, New York. Quite interesting to say the least. So as they say, welcome to the NWO. And they're not scared to say that anymore. You can see that a lot of the world leaders are professing that and stating that in some of their speeches across the globe. And I was talking to my wife yesterday, or maybe it was yesterday evening or whatnot. And I said, "Does this all seem coincidental or what?" I said, "With the primaries just around the corner, things just seem to be amping up." And she's like, "Well, there's no such thing as coincidence." And I said, "Point taken, point taken." So yeah, we're going to go over the chaos that has ensued over the last few days. We're going to touch on some interesting things in regards to, what they like to say about, what's the word? It's not global warming anymore, climate change and stuff like that, which I thought was quite interesting. And some developments, how things change through the news cycles. And what I mean by that specifically is, everything is pushed one way or another at a certain time frame. And then a year later, they're like, "Oh, yeah, we were wrong. My bad. Whoops. No biggie." And people have to deal with those consequences. We're also going to touch on, oh man, we got the corn, the wheat. Man, the food situation is just getting worse. It's like the everything shortage. Every time you turn around, there's a shortage of something. As they say, welcome to Corn Pops America. Now, I guess I've already stated this, but the opinions in this video reflect my own. And I like to state that up front. So the articles that we're going to go over, that we discuss, most of them, other than the situations that are, other than the things that you guys are super aware of, there is no, differentiating what's happening. Those articles I didn't care to add to that, but the rest of the articles that I go over will be down below so that you can click on them and do your own, look at them and read them for your own perspective and whatnot. And also I want to thank everybody for being here in the Sunday premiere. Some people ironically think, and I want to make it clear that the premiere is basically a pre-recorded video with an interactive chat. It's not a live stream, so sometimes folks think I'm live and I'm not. It's more of a premiere, but some folks are getting used to it. Some of the new folks that are not associated with the premieres get a little bit confused with it and whatnot. But it's okay, you know what I mean? Social media and technology can be crazy at times. Anyways, like I said, man, I'm just looking at some of the things, and I had these clips, and I know folks are going to ask, and I'm not going. I have the clip. I was going to even post it in my Discord, but I decided not to, of what transpired in Buffalo. I looked at the full clip, the whole 1 minute clip of it. That's been, and then the reason I screen recorded it is because I knew eventually it's most likely going to disappear. So I wanted to add that to a pile of things that I think are going to be disappearing, off the web eventually. All right, so let's get into it. Let's go from some of you folks may be aware of all these things that transpired. So, and this is why I tell a lot of people, and people don't understand, like, hey, when they invite me to certain things, hey, let's go to this concert. Hey, let's go to this sporting event. Hey, let's go to this and that, where there's these mass amount of people there. And I'm like, no, I'm going to pass. It's to try to control yourself in that environment. And what I mean by that is to try to analyze that environment and feel that you're absolutely safe is just unobtainable to that from my perspective. You know what I mean? I can go to a restaurant. I can go to even, places I don't like to go, like Walmart. and I could access, all the different aspects of looking at people and exit points, and that strategizing if something was to transpire. But into a mass situation where there's thousands and sometimes 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people engaged in one instance, that's a lot more complicated. So let's look at this. We'll go to because we got Chicago. Let's go to LA first, and I'll bring it up, and we'll get to it. You know what I mean? Anyways, so right here in this article it says patrons flee Grand Central Market in downtown LA after fatal shooting nearby. And there's a point to all this that I'll go over once we hit these articles. It says authorities were searching for a shooter after a man was struck and killed by gunfire near Grand Central Market in downtown Los Angeles Saturday afternoon. At 3:56 p.m., police were called to the 300 block of South Hill Street for the shooting, said Officer Rosario Cervantes, a Los Angeles Police Department spokesperson. Video shared on social media showed many frightened patrons fleeing the area of the market and some taking cover. So let's take a clip. Let's look. I know I have it somewhere here. Let me see. Yeah, this is LA. Let's throw up the clip here so that you guys can see the mass chaos that ensued. All right, here we go. And look at them. They're scattering, running in fear. They have no idea what's happening. People are just trying to eat and live their daily lives. From young, old, to everybody. Everybody is just, trying to get out of the whole situation that's transpiring. Some is not as others, not trying to escape as much as others are. They're just confused. And here's the thing: is it's herd mentality. And what I mean by that is that everybody is running one direction, regardless if that's a safe direction, they're all going to run that direction. That's that herd mentality. It's just like if I was standing in the middle of the street and I decided to point up to the sky and just kind of do this and stare at the sky, everybody that looks at me is going to also look up at the sky and wonder, what is he doing? Why? What's up there? And they're going to be, following that herd mentality. And it's unfortunate event that that's how a lot of folks think in regards to how life is, and when something transpires, something is chaotic, as a mass casualty event. So, and I posted this one in my Discord, so some of you folks may be aware of this. This was where in Milwaukee. Let's throw up the article first. It says 21 people were injured in shootings in downtown Milwaukee. Mayor Johnson imposes curfew Saturday night. It says Milwaukee's downtown entertainment district, a space to celebrate and come together as the city was rocked by gun violence Friday night after 3 shootings left at least 21 people wounded, including 17 shot in one incident. Hours later, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson imposed a curfew in the area for Saturday and Sunday nights. We're going to do something about what happened here in this neighborhood last night, Johnson said in a downtown Red Arrow Park. It will not be tolerated. The violence hit an entertainment district that has been battered by 2 years of the pandemic and other high-profile incidences of gun violence, including 2 homicides earlier this year. Now, I don't want you folks to think that I'm taking this lightly, because I'm not. Because any time someone loses their life is a horrific and heartfelt event, be it however it happens, be it whoever they are. The loss of life is truly something that should not be ever celebrated in any aspect. You know what I mean? Because that's someone's child, someone's brother, someone's mom, someone's dad. You know what I mean? So don't ever take, take things lightly when you see this kind of chaos ensue, because it doesn't only affect the person that passes. It affects a lot of other people outside of that, the entire family, and possibly beyond. Anyways, so this is the chaos that ensued at the Milwaukee incidents. As you can see, all these folks are running. They're all running. Who knows? Like I said, it's that herd mentality. They're all just running in a specific direction because that's where everybody else is running. Are they running towards where the situation is? Are they running away from the situation? I specifically can't tell. I wasn't there, but quite intriguing to say the least. So that's another one, per se, right? That's the second one that we're going over. Then we look at Chicago last night, and here's what kind of disturbs me. I was watching, and I'm not going to say who it was. I was watching a stream, and it wasn't nobody in the prepperverse of things, right? It was just restreamers that showed things going on, and I was listening to their chat, the vulgarity, the heartlessness, I guess the fact that they just didn't care. They even told their viewers that you can say these racial slurs. They said that you can do this and you can do that. And I'm amazed at how many people were just super chat, supporting this streamer, and just making fun of people doing certain things and people passing. I was kind of in shock, to say the least. I understand streaming certain things and kind of breaking it down from a news perspective, but you have to respect certain aspects of life in general. Anyways, I don't want to go down that tangent. So let's jump over here to Chicago real quick. And a 16-year-old boy lost his life. And the ironic thing was, is they were there to protest supposedly the Roe versus Wade thing, and then it evolved into something else. There was some looting, other shots fired, people throwing things at vehicles and whatnot. But it just always seems to, catch flame and go. The reason that they're there, regardless of whatever, and then where it excels to. You know what I mean? I understand. Again, I tell people all the time, I understand protesting for something that you believe in, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. Anyways, it says a 16-year-old boy is dead following a shooting on Saturday in one of Chicago's top tourist attractions, authorities said. The Chicago Police Department said that the shooting occurred around 7:30 p.m. in Millennium Park near the Bean, also known as the Cloud Gate. Paramedics told News Nation affiliate WGN a teen male was shot in the chest and hurried to Ann Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital, Chicago, in critical condition. He was later pronounced dead. That's someone's child, folks. That's someone's child. At least two suspects were taken into questioning. At least 2 weapons were recovered, authorities said. An investigation is ongoing. Police did not provide any additional information. Hundreds of people were at the park Saturday as a part of a demonstration across the U.S. protesting a recently leaked draft opinion that suggests the Supreme Court is prepared to overturn the constitutional right to abortion. Now, constitutional right, yeah. I like how, when you read something and then you look at it like constitutional right. Where is that in the Constitution? I wasn't aware of it. Anyways, I don't want to go down that can of worms at the moment. Anyways, it is unclear if the teen who was shot was part of the demonstrations. The park will remain closed through Sunday. And again, with that shooting there, I have a small clip again to show you kind of. And this is what the thing is. It starts in a big confrontation, as you can see here on the screen, and I'm trying to watch it too, and it's just some sort of brawl or fight or whatever it turns out to be, and it's very confusing and chaotic. And then I'm trying to understand. There's police officers starting to move in, right? And as you can see, they're starting to come in here, and the Chicago PD let everybody know there's going to be mass arrest. But this is where it started. This was like that sparking point, and then all of course something transpires, and then everyone seems to scatter and run. So this is, like I said, another situation where everybody is scattering. Chaos ensues in a situation, and it, like I said, the ironic thing is this is happening. It seems all over the place, and all very in rapid succession, so that the news can push what's going on. And I get it, it's the news, they want people to be informed, but again, we are approaching the primaries here in November, and sometimes I wonder, and I'm a bit speculative and maybe a bit conspiratorial sometimes, because the one thing that protects us in the United States, us citizens per se, is our Second Amendment, which everyone knows is the right to bear arms. So when you see a lot of this stuff happening, and ironically enough, like I said, Chicago, run by Democratic leadership, or Illinois, whatever you want to call it, L.A. or California, Democratic leadership, New York, again, Democratic leadership, and we'll get into that in 1 second, and then Wisconsin. From the folks that I know in Wisconsin, say their governor there is a Republican, from my understanding. I think, but they say he's a rhino, and he's useless, and he's part of the, as I like to say, the NWO, or the narrative per se. Anyways, I'm not going to show any video of this one, but a lot of you folks know what happened in Chicago. They're all saying it's racially motivated. From the video I watched, there was a part in the video that kind of really confused me, where the gunman kind of he was kind of just kind of firing everywhere, right? And as soon as he got out of the vehicle, boom, dropped someone. I think she was a white lady. Boom, started firing at the people standing by the door. Boom, then went in there and started firing, and it seemed almost indiscriminately. Uh, but the majority, and then you look into the manifesto, which is really weird when you look into this. I'm telling you, folks, you might want to read into it, because it's a lot of cut and paste jargon from other manifestos, from other mass shooters, and it's just like it sparks the mind to think, why did this happen, and some of the things that he said in this thing. But you guys are probably more famous with this photo here, and you can see here he's all in fatigues, battle belt. No, not even belt. It's just a tactical belt, and quite, like I said, is it a portrayal? What is it a portrayal of? A lot of us folks, who like to, let's say, us people that were, retired military or prior service and whatnot, we like camouflage. I wear, a digital ACU hat, by Browning. Doesn't mean I'm insane and whatnot, but all in all, it's heartbreaking to know what happened and what transpired again with the people that lost their lives. I looked at different clips. I looked at different zoom ups of the photos and all this other stuff like that to try to differentiate fact from fiction. And it's a bit convoluted, to be honest with you, and it probably will be. It'll be quite intriguing to say how it all plays out through the court systems, be it state, and I'm assuming the feds are going to pick it up and probably classify it as a hate crime. And I guess over time we'll figure out how it all plays out. I don't know. It's just like I said. That's four that I came across shootings, aka somewhat mass shootings. Basically more than one or two people being shot, other than the Chicago situation. But then I found out, watching a little bit deeper into it, there was actually three people shot that evening outside of the young boy that lost his life. But I think they're going to use some of these blue states are going to further push the agenda of gun control, and trying to infringe on your Second Amendment. Most gun owners, from my perspective, this is me as being a law-abiding citizen gun owner, that they're we have to jump through the hoops. We have to pass all these background checks. We have to go through this and that and all this other jazz. And I'm not saying everyone does that, but most law-abiding citizens use a firearm for protection, for self-preservation, in a situation that may arise that they feel that their life is threatened or their family's life is threatened, in whatever scenario that be. Most people don't buy a firearm in the intent to create mass casualties. I would say 99% of the folks don't, but they will highlight these incidences. And it always seems to be during an election season. And that's what puzzles me, and that's what concerns me. And that's why I'm discussing it here today. And kind of with the whole thumbnail, welcome to the NWO. Because it seems like the media is controlled by politics this day and age, no matter what media outlet that you see. And you see this continuation and this narrative being pushed so that everybody, not everyone, I guess all the people that are the headliners, and what I mean by headliners, they read just a little bit into that, and that's what they believe. They take it as gospel, what they see on CNN, NBC, ABC, wherever they're watching, and they take that as, that's what happened, that's why it happened, and this is what it is, without going any further into it. And I am concerned for the state of our country and the direction it's headed. And funny enough, even some of these, what if you want to call them left-wing news agencies or leftist news agencies, are showing polls where Corn Pop's approval ratings, I mean, they're at record lows, folks. 75% of people feel that our country is going in a wrong direction. That is a massive number. Numbers haven't been seen like that, I think, since about 2008. when the housing bubble took place and our economy was in the gutter. And there's a lot of warnings out there. So let's kind of get into this whole thing. I got a couple things I want to go over to. It's already 20 minutes in, but I wanted to cover that and give you my opinion. I didn't want to show the video of Buffalo because it was just. I'm assuming most social media platforms are going to be taking them down as they catch them. Because even if I was to say, viewer discretion advised, it's still something that, I don't know, kids may be watching this. Kids might come across this video. People might be watching it with their families. So I just don't want to show that type of material here where people can just come across it randomly. In the Discord, I thought about it because it's more of a controlled situation, and most people that have the Discord or part of the Discord are adults. But I felt if anybody really wanted to see that, they would probably DM me and I could email them a clip, but they probably found it themselves. All right, so let's go into this. Everybody knows the formula situation. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Someone even, I ran into a personal friend that said, they're having a bad situation. They're looking out of state to find formula for their child. They're looking all over the county, outside of the county. They can't find it online. But I found this article that intrigued me, and it is linked down below. It says, as baby formula supplies dwindle, officials warn of price gouging. Because, the limited supply, certain local retailers, if they have any, they're going to charge an arm and a leg for it, especially when people need something. When it's an essential item that someone needs, people take advantage of that situation. Anyways, let's get into the article. It says, this is America. This is 2022, not the Soviet Union in the 1980s or Venezuela in 2015. Whoever thought we would run out of baby formula? But here we are. Sadly, we must count on the very people who created the crisis to solve it. Hold that thought. Less than half of the corn, wheat, and soybeans usually planted this time of year is in the ground. Half. Less than half is planted in the ground. Combine that with virtually no wheat exports from Ukraine and America's already shaking supply chain, and things could get interesting. Difficult, perhaps. Remember, baby formula shelves are bare because one plant closed. You don't need to take much out of the system to cause chaos. We are now talking about a large percentage of corn, wheat, and soybeans gone come this fall. A lot of you folks might be aware of a situation that's arose. I saw some YouTubers jump on it immediately as the story broke. I like to read into it first and understand why. And so here we are. Everybody's been talking about this. India bans wheat exports, cites food security and soaring prices. I don't know how you guys, if you look at India's politics and their political leaders over there, and how they rub shoulders with the Russians. So there's some sort of speculation here of why they're doing it outside of what's being presented to us in mainstream media and some other news outlets. So of course you always have to go to the fringe or to the dark sites and whatnot to try to get a handle on what other reasons why this is transpiring. Anyways, it says agriculture ministers from the G7 industrialized nations immediately condemned India's ban on wheat exports. India has banned exports of wheat effective immediately, citing a risk to food security. We've been talking about food security for probably months now, partly due to the war in Ukraine and a scorching heat wave curtailed, and we talked about that too, this heat that's going to get nasty. And I have an article I want to show you that's going to really throw things out of whack. Heat wave that curtailed the output and domestic prices hit record highs. Just several months ago when the whole Russia-Ukraine thing started to pull up, India said that they were stepping up to the plate and they were going to try to help folks out with the whole wheat situation and so on and so forth. And now they have changed their tune. Although not one of the world's top wheat exporters, India's bans could drive global prices to new peaks given already tight supply, hitting poor consumers in Asia and Africa particularly hard. Third world nations will definitely be hit tremendously hard. And people say, why should I worry about wheat? Wheat, you have to look at what wheat is used for, outside of just the term wheat or what wheat is. You have to look at how many products contain wheat, and so on and so forth, and how wheat is used outside of just, okay, it's wheat. You know what I mean? Who cares if there's, if they stopped, exporting it and whatnot. There's always an exponential reason why things happen and how it affects everything else. It's like a domino effect, plain as day. Anyways, where was I at? It says agriculture ministers from the G7 industrialized nations immediately condemned India's decision on Saturday. If everyone starts to impose export restrictions, which is every country starts to export restrictions, or to close markets, that would worsen the crisis. German agriculture minister Sem Ozdemir said in a news conference in Stuttgart. We call on India to assume its responsibility as a G20 member, Ozdemir said. So they're being condemned by other nations, Germany and several other folks. And like I said, that's going to, of course, my favorite word, I guess, lately is to exacerbate the already situation, the crisis that it's at hand. And I think we're going to start, in July, we're going to start seeing things slowly unfold in regards to the recession, possibly down the road, depression. I'm just hypothesizing what possibly could happen. I can't be for certain. I'm not a, what is it called, psychic. I can't predict. But I can look at the writing on the wall and make an assumption of what's most likely going to happen by trying to digest as much information as I can and sift through the propaganda and fact, because there's always some sort of shred of fact even hidden under the layers of propaganda. Anyways, let's look at Florida is vastly quickly approaching. Florida, North Carolina, the whole coastlines are vastly approaching hurricane season here relatively quickly. But I wanted to show you something. And, this is not me from my perspective. This is the NOAA. We know how they, and how they act towards things. So it's not like some sort of right-wing type of periodical. This is directly from the NOAA. And this kind of blows that whole theory of green energy and all that stuff out of the water, and climate change and all the other stuff that they're shoving down everybody's throat. It says cleaner air leads to more Atlantic hurricanes, NOAA study finds. Again, this is their study, not mine, not some crazy lunatic person to just come up with this, not off Wikipedia where people can alter what's in that content. It says a new study suggests the successful efforts in North America and Europe to reduce air pollution have led to unintended consequences, more hurricanes. It says the surprising result was found by Hiroki Muram, and I can't say his last name, a physical scientist at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, also known as the NOAA. In his paper published in the Journal of Science Advances, Murakami, I'm hoping that's how you say his name, said he studied hurricane trends in Northern Hemisphere over the past 40 years and discovered a connection between the number of hurricanes and the amount of air pollution in the form of tiny particles called aerosols. Anyways, it says almost 90%, big number there, 90% of aerosols released into the air have natural origins, like volcanoes and forest fires, while the remaining 10% come from human activities, such as manufacturing cement and burning coals, whatnot, fossil fuels and whatnot. The NOAA study examines data from two periods from 1980 to 2000 and 2001 to 2020, during which North America and Europe significantly cut down their output of human-caused aerosols. According to the study, 50% decrease in human-caused aerosols pollution from 1980 to 2020 has contributed to a 33% increase in storm formations in the Atlantic Ocean. The idea is when there are fewer pollution particles to reflect the sun's energy back into space, water will get warmer and act as fuel for hurricanes. Without significant amounts of particulate pollution to reflect sunlight, the ocean absorbs more heat and warms faster. The NOAA said, not me, in a May 11th press release. A warming Atlantic Ocean has been a key ingredient to a 33% increase in the number of tropical cyclones during this 40-year period. So, cleaner air agenda, creating more hurricanes, 33% more tropical cyclones. Quite interesting, to say the least. Doesn't that punch a bunch of holes in what's being shoved down everybody's throat? This current administration's agenda, the billions and billions of dollars are pouring into this whole push. I don't know. I found that quite intriguing. I wanted to share that with you folks because, like I said, these are scientists and they're showing something different. And I know there's going to be naysayers and like, well, that's just one perspective, blah, 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 blah. Hey, you're entitled to that. Again, we are here to agree to disagree and so on and so forth. Everybody has their opinion. I have mine, you have yours. And that's what makes America such a great country is that you have that First Amendment right to do so. And just think about it. Whenever you are silenced, whenever you are censored, that First Amendment is under attack. Just think about that when you try to silence others. Anyways, folks, last but not least, this last article, because again, over the last 2 years, we've been having all this information shoved down our throat about Charlie Victor. So I decided to share this, being risky as it is. But it says Pfizer. Everybody knows who Pfizer is by this point. Everybody knows who they are. Charlie Victor recipients more likely to get infected after 5 months. Again, this is directly from the Journal of American Medical Association. Not me. I'm just reading an article. So I should never be penalized for reading an article that's been published by the Journal of American Medical Association. And there's reasons why I'm stating that. You guys know. Anyways, the Charlie Victor turned negatively affected after 5 months, according to a new study. Researchers with the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, aka the CDC, so again, the CDC, this is some of their work as well, analyzed test results from sites across the United States and determined that the Victor was 60% effective 2 or 4 weeks after 12 to 15-year-olds got the second dose in the primary regimen. But the effectiveness measured against symptomatic illness quickly plummeted, hitting 20% around month 2 and 0 around month 5. So, man. Anyways, after that, the recipients in the age group were more likely to be infected by the disease caused by the Charlie Victor, also known as, you guys know what's up. The Victor effectiveness was no longer significantly different from 0 during month 3 after the second dose. The researchers wrote in the study, which was published by the Journal of American Medical Association. So all this forced mandates, these forced victorizations, I like to call them, and you guys know what I mean. Now they're coming out with this stuff, the CDC, these medical journals, these doctors and stuff like that, and saying, whoops, hey, it doesn't do exactly what we expected it to do. Matter of fact, the vice president of Pfizer has come out publicly and stated a lot of things, and he actually quit the company due to what's transpiring and what he's been seeing. I can't get into that, specifically, but I'm pretty sure most of you folks have watched content on Rumble, BitChute, and other platforms and drawn your own conclusions of what is transpiring. It is truly a shame because, like I said, anything that's been pushed rapidly, no matter who came out with it, 45, 46, you guys knew what I'm talking about, between the two of them, it doesn't really matter. It's just things take time to understand. And that's why a lot of people ask me, hey, are you going to do it? And I'm like, nope. And they're like, why, man? Aren't you worried? I'm like, if it's my time, it's my time. And it sucks to think that way, but God has plans for everyone. Sorry if you're not religious. Sorry if you don't believe in God, but that's just my perspective. And, if it was my time to leave this plane of existence, then so be it. But I'm not going to put something, I'm not going to make a decision based on little to no research and what transpired. You know what I mean? you know, being in the military, I got hit with a lot of different things. Even in basic, when I was in basic in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, I had to stand there and just bam, 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 you know, left and right. I don't even know how many I got, to be honest with you. And then whenever we went somewhere, where they would say, hey, well, you need this array of, let's say, you need the shots for your anthrax, or you need shots for this, you need whatever, dengue fever, and all the other things that we got injected with. Um, Luckily, a lot of them have a lot of history behind it and research and stuff like that. But I felt that this hadn't had that kind of eyes on it that it needed to see. And then I also saw the money being thrown at it, the commercialization of it, the politically driven, you know, push behind it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pass for now, and see what happens in the next few years. And as we see, things are developing. So again, you know, they say, and they always say, you know, just trust those folks. No way. Trust no one. Trust no one when it comes to that kind of stuff. And remember, anything is free. It's not free, folks. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap this up, folks. I want to thank every one of you guys for being here in the premiere. If you haven't given me a thumbs up, please do so. If not, I understand. Maybe you had said something wrong to upset you. But if you did get any value out of this, I appreciate that thumbs up button. And share this out. If you have a Twitter, if you have a Getter, if you have a whatever platform and you feel people might want to, you know, this information may be pertinent to them or might be informative to those folks, share it on your Facebook, Instagram, wherever you like. You know, we need to get messages out. You know, a lot of us are subdued. We are pushed down where, you know, people won't find this information. So hopefully you guys share it with everyone that you know that you might find that are like-minded and might think this information could benefit them. Anyways, mods, thank you. Again, you are the thing that keeps us going and keeping this chat and everything running the way it does. Thank you so much for doing what you do. Again, folks out there, please stay aware, stay vigilant. Situational awareness is huge. Be safe and know you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys on the rebound. God bless.